most companies have, they do have processes, but they might not be written down. And if they have 25 employees, there might be 25 processes. And so I'm always interested in it's a place to start on an organized business.
Yeah.
What do we do? Call comes in, what happens? Anyway, so that mapping out of the processes is the first step in my mind. And then we go into what are the processes and how do we describe them at an appropriate level without writing volumes, but enough that we can train people to work the processes without having to do it every day. Me having to be there, be the owner.
Right.
How about you?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, what I think about, when people are struggling, it's because every process is designed to get the results that it gets. And when they're struggling with bad results, things falling through the cracks, things not being done correctly, quality control issues, stress, uncertainty, it's because the process is designed to breed that. And so if they can act, and a lot of times they're just not designing the process intentionally, it's just kind of happening. And it's like they're building a house without blueprints. They're just, well, I think this door should go here. And I think that maybe we'll have a water line coming through here. I mean, no, you're going to have an architect come up with the drawings, have blueprints of exactly where things go before you start actually building a new house. It should be the same thing, ideally, whenever you're selling a product or selling a service. You should have an idea of what is the blueprint for delivering this product or service. So that's kind of what that process map is. It's where are we going and how are we going to get there? And I think for a lot of businesses, the basic place to start is just with what you deliver. If you are delivering a service or a product, how do we get from all the way from we acquired the work, so a new lead came in, all the way to we got a testimonial and a review. So somewhere in there, we went through a sales process, we went through a marketing process, a sales process, a service process or delivery process. There was maybe production in there for a lot of contractors or manufacturers. And then there's the install process. And then there's the follow-up with the customer after that. So there's a lot of processes within the overall process of delivering their business to a customer. But when you do that, whenever you map it all out and you have the overall process, one, you can start to break it down into individual processes within, like I just said, for marketing, sales, service, install, production, whatever it is. But you're also going to start to see redundancies. You're going to see bottlenecks. You're going to see things that you need to actually incorporate that don't exist. And then it really opens up the door for where do we need better systems that our team can follow, and so we can execute better and have more efficiencies throughout the process. It allows you to start introducing software to your process and figure out what software fits your overall processes. And then from there, once you have the software in, you can start tracking things. You can start assigning responsibilities. So that's in a nutshell what we're talking about with process mapping.
Yeah, when I explain it to people at my level, I've got an 8-foot whiteboard in my conference room. I just draw a horizontal line, and let's say we're talking about workflow of delivering the product or service that we sell, as opposed to maybe a workflow that would be in accounting or something like that. I just draw a line across there and go, what's the first thing that happens?
Yeah.
Well, we sell something. Well, no. What's the first thing that happens? A call comes in. Okay, you can go back before that. Oh yeah, that's right. A call comes in. What happens to that call? I mean, that's where a lot of places fail. They weren't there.
All the time.
Spent all the money to get leads coming in on your website, and nobody answers the phone or doesn't look at the form that gets sent. Anyway, you start there and say, what happens? Then you say, well, we got to deal with what to do with it. And then what happens next? Bob or Mary, the salesperson, has to go someplace to find it. Anyway, so we go all the way across, just at kind of a high level, marking out the activities that go from, as you said, getting a lead to getting a review on a paid account, right?
Yeah.
And that's, it's fun. And I think you do this. I know I do. I chunk it out. You can get really complex if you draw a horizontal line. What do I do with the call? Well, is Bob here? I send it to Bob. If Bob's not here, I have to send it to Sally. Sally's not here. I have to put it into, you can go crazy with that.
Mhm.
What I like to do is the first chunk, lead management belongs to whoever it belongs to.
Right.
And it's still theirs until some event happens, like contract, bid meeting
Mhm.
schedule. Then it goes over to Fred. So, and the reason I really use Khalil, guys, is I'm great at talking about this, but capturing this in software
Mhm.
requires first that you think of it, but then that you choose the software and know how to use it. And I don't. I mean, I
Yeah.
years ago said I'm not going to try to learn all these softwares. But that's where I give it to Cleo, because we have the same attitude towards processes, and then we can get it encapsulated in software that actually helps facilitate.
Yeah.
And one last thing, and then you talk about it, but we frequently talk about one place to look, one source of truth.
Exactly.
I crave for anybody, I don't care how big you are, that you can look one place and think of these little boxes. You have this many in leads, this many are out of leads, this many are in bidding, this many are accept their waiting schedule. Anyway, I can look and see what's where quickly. I can do it at 8:00 in the morning, get on the computer and look.
Yeah.
And I can drill down and say, man, that's been there a long time and all that. But I've got one place to look. Where are things in the process?
Well, and that ties in. We're probably going to do an episode soon about silos, what a silo is, and removing
Yeah.
them. But
Yeah.
having that one place to look really helps remove a lot of those silos. Now, that one place to like, there's Enterprise Resource Program. Is that what ERP stands for? I
Yeah,
can't remember.
ERPs. Yeah.
Yeah, ERPs are basically where literally everything inside your business, from where you track tasks to where you enter payroll to where you hire applicants to where you sign contracts, every single thing is in one place. And those can be kind of chaotic at times if you're not done correctly. And they can be a lot to manage, literally having maybe multiple people on your team just to manage the ERP. But really the way that I think about it is all of your hiring, for example, should be done in the same place where you can track applicants, track interviews, track hires. If it's all in one place, it makes it much easier because anybody that's dealing with hiring can go to that space. Same thing for sales, marketing, and service. If we can see all of the data about what we are selling, what we're marketing, and what we're delivering, then it's extremely valuable for us to know exactly where we're going in the future. We're selling a lot of this, we deliver this exceptionally well. Let's double down on the marketing budget for that product or that service. Just like you probably do all of your invoicing, taxes, payroll inside of QuickBooks, right? It's one place to look for all of those things. And imagine if you're invoicing in a different tool to where you're tracking all of your books in one tool, and then payroll in a different one, and then taxes in a different one. It becomes complicated. And that's where you create silos. So with this process mapping, if you do it well, it allows you to remove silos and to get into specific software